Alright, chat. It's time. You ready to listen to a story? This story is ridiculous. I'm pulling out the drawing pen for this one, okay? You need to hear how my town is conspiring against me in Pokemon Go. I haven't talked much about Pokemon Go on this channel, but you need to know, because at this point, this is starting to get really out of hand. I have my map open, I have no notes, but I know what I'm doing, and I know what is happening, and I've only been playing this game for 3 months. 3 months. And I have created so much discord in my town, it's ridiculous. Okay, first things first, let's start from the beginning. I live... Where am I? I live, like, right here. Alright, this is me. Where am I? That's me, okay? I live in the town of Redacted, and basically, let me draw you what the area kind of looks like. It's not going to be to scale, but basically I live on this road here. It scales down to here, and then you got like the main road all the way across here, which goes into kind of like the other end of town. You got like a bunch of subdivisions over here. We're gonna call this train tracks. You know, this sort of thing. There's a bunch of different like subdivisions and off-roads and stuff like this. Kind of grid-based. There's a road here which goes to like the main area that I usually play, and then there's this kind of path that goes across like this all the way to one of these roads. And this matters. This does matter. Because you're gonna find out how ridiculous this gets in like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so for those who don't know how Pokemon Go works, the way that Pokemon Go works, alright, you catch Pokemon, done, easy, alright? Way combat works, you mash screen, easy, alright. Now, there's premium currency, not premium, there's free currency you can make using gyms. The way that you do it is you find a gym, usually the more populated areas, the more gyms there are, there's Pokestops that you can spin to get items, right? So the way that it works is you have to hold a gym for an amount of time to make coins. You can make up to 50 coins a day. The way you make a coin is 1 coin every 10 minutes. So you need about 8 hours to make the maximum amount of coins you're allowed to make in a day, which is 50. The math's like that. 8 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. It's 8 hours, 20 minutes. So you could do this in a couple of ways. You could just hold a gym for that long, or you could hold multiple gyms, right? The way you do it is you have to kick the other teams out. So I'm Team Blue, okay? And this matters a lot that I'm Team Blue, because Team Blue is the problem. You're about to find out. So, this is where I live. There are a plethora. I live in a small town. Like it's just barely a city. All right, I'm gonna draw this a little bit behind me over here. It's just barely a city, but it's a city nonetheless. So there's blue, red, and yellow. I'm just gonna show you. This is gonna be like August when I started playing the game. Okay. So generally speaking, blue holds this gym. They hold the gym in my area here, and then blue would hold this gym frequently, and this gym over here. Now, in the same place, yellow would hold this gym right here, right here. You're gonna already figure out what's going on here. Right here. Blue would also hold a couple of gyms down the road here and here next to each other, miraculously. You have to remember, there's a lot of residents all over my area, so, like, there are homes all the way across. Where am I? Like, here, that's housing. Here is housing. Oh my goodness, what happened to my drawing? Here's housing, right? Back over here is housing. Right over here is housing. Okay. So, you know, you're gonna kind of get the point. Now, red would exist here by the train tracks. This would kind of like break up between the three. This is kind of that neutral zone where all three of these would sort of like trade up type of thing. Like blue would hold one of these, red would hold one of these, and then yellow and all three of them would fight or whatever and stuff like this. On this side, this is not fully accurate to scale, of course, but the other thing here is down here when this road extends down, red would kind of hold like the main intersection down here. You're gonna get the point, right? The point is, with all these gyms in town, there is a clear divide in where the teams went. Now, that's not to say this didn't change. Sometimes red and yellow would take over here. Primarily yellow would hold this area over here, and then more out to there, blue would take over and stuff like this. Then there's me, the innocent gamer, learning how this game works. The only way that you get the coins is not just to hold the gym for the amount of time, but you actually have to take the gym yourself. Well, you have to take the gym or join a gym that's your color. So since I'm team blue, I need to join a blue team, right? That's just how it works. So what would end up happening is blue seems to be playing here for quite some time because they were usually holding this gym. This gym right here rarely ever changes. This one right here. This one never changes. That's 95% of the time blue. This one has been held for 42 days to date. Nobody goes over here, right? And this one changes up frequently, this one changes up frequently, and this generally happens. So that what you were looking at is some kind of provincial boundaries being drawn between here's blue, here's yellow, and then here's red, right? That's kind of what would be happening pretty consistently August, September. Now, me now starting to get the teams to be able to fight these gyms because they're all sticking nothing but Blissies and Wobbuffets and Slackings into them and Snorlaxes. Finally having the Primeape at the time, now the Conkeldurr. I started trying to get some currency. By killing off other gyms, you help other people make currency, and then you can put your own into the gyms to essentially make your own, right? And I don't care that people take the gym because that's the only way you're going to make that money. Here's the problem, though. It seems like people had some kind of system going. Because what would end up happening is my route, to show you how I walk this, okay? There are Pokestops, which are like mini gyms. They don't count for anything, but they give you items. There's like 12 here. There's I should have just did X's. There are a lot of Pokestops here, all right? This is like soccer fields. So, what I would do is I would go from my house. This is me. Whee! Skip this gym because I couldn't do it. Come down to here, fight this gym if I could, then come over to here, fight this gym if I could, and then take this path over, and then I would, fight this gym and turn them into blue. Because, again, there was no joining the gyms, because it seems to be there's like a group of 6 that play together, and they always hold these gyms. Like, the gyms over here and over here have the same Pokemon in them. A Wooloo, a Wobbuffet, some shiny garbage. Like a little, actually, let me read this off to you right now. The normal team, I can't, there's a Kirlia on that one. But basically they hold a normal team. That's kind of like their signature. And I don't know, how did I click on the 2 gyms that have a raid in them? And then a Pokestop. Yeah, Wooloo, Wobbuffet, Mr. Mime, Galarian Mr. Mime, this one's a normal one, a Ditto, a Munchlax, and a Chansey. That's literally the team that pops up when these 6 players play together. And sometimes it mixes up and stuff like that. But usually they hold this. Like this is impenetrable. This is impenetrable unless someone takes it. This one is impenetrable. This one is like Fort frickin' Knox. Nobody touches this one, right? And so my route would basically consist of this on a regular basis. But then I started learning like, I have a lot of resources because I started using that currency to buy more room for items and for Pokemon storage. So I started learning this path over to here, across the road. I just realized this is completely off of scale, but just play with me here because this is actually the thing. This leads to the main street that's over here. I started learning that I could go out for longer walks because I like going for walks, but it's mostly just for catching and grinding up resources and just kind of holding what I can. But then I started being able to actually fight more, and because this area seemed to be pretty blue dominant and they would flip really quickly, I'm like, okay, well, I need to take more gyms. So what I started doing was taking my walks this way, but then I'd start extending out into this territory. And I'd take this, I'd come over to here, I would take these guys. You get the point, right? And then I'd swing back home. So what I noticed was, after about a month and a half of doing that, around mid-September, you started seeing a dynamic change, where yellow started taking this more, and they started encroaching over to here. Red and yellow would, like, fight over this quite a bit. These would still remain unchanged, but it started being that the boundaries would change over to this side of the town, which is where I would go do my walks. So, you might be thinking, okay, what's the point? This is normal, noob. People take the gyms, they decide to go on longer walks. A lot of people I've noticed also when I go raiding, I notice people driving in their cars. Not a big town, but like they go drive in their cars in whatever weather, especially when it's cold, because Canada, and they just go take the gyms. Cool, that's awesome. But it gets weirder than this, because this is not normal. Because what ended up happening was, these boundaries merely shifted. They didn't change and become chaos. They were chaos for about 2 weeks, where everybody, all these new names in Pokemon Go were popping up, where they were starting to, we're starting to see, ooh, these people are starting to take these gyms. Oh, my gyms are being taken faster. And while I wouldn't make as much money, I'm like, okay, but that means I have more gyms that I can take because I'm going on walks daily, and I can take all these gyms over. That's pretty good, because now I can start making more in-game currency. Until 2 weeks ago, something's changed in my area. All of this goes out the window. Suddenly, blue owns this, yellow owns this, blue still owns this, this has become yellow, red now owns the south side of town, yellow still owns this. And you might be thinking, well, what's the weird thing about this? Well, this is the weird one right here, chat. Is that despite there being chaos, these gyms have now held Pokemon for multiple days at a time. At the same time. So when there was a bunch of people attacking each other's gyms and this constantly changing from blue to red to yellow and stuff like this for a few days, and then me coming in and just joining the war with blue, suddenly blue kind of holds a bit of a foothold on everything. Which I found fairly bizarre. And then this past week, gyms that were never blue are now blue. And it just so happens that those were the gyms that I would hold by myself. And guess who's holding them? These guys right here, the Wobbuffet Wooloo Ditto gang. So what is happening in my area is it's the same names. All of those new names are gone. They don't exist anymore. It's the same, I could find the same 20, 25 players across all of these gyms. And they have developed a ceasefire against each other to prevent me from taking gyms. How do I know this? Because here's the thing. These gyms sit around coffee shops, libraries, and other retail stores, which I've had resistance in the past. When I go to take them on my walks to the store or whatnot, I would try and fight and they'd be healing up, because what you could do is drop berries on your Pokemon in the gyms to heal up in real time. Which is funny because sometimes it restricts me from doing that. I don't know how it actually works, but you can basically drop berries when you're not attacking in between attacks to heal them up. And while I respect them defending to get the money, right? I can respect that. But here's the funny part, is that the gyms that I'm attacking now have been there for multiple days, and they've been defending them, like, viciously. To the point where I would have to sit out there for maybe 20-25 minutes a gym, because the group of 6 or just one person is dropping golden raspberries to fully heal all these Pokemon in gyms that are well past the maximum amount that they can make for the day. Now, the one thing you do gain from gyms is if you sit in there, you gain points towards it, so when you spin the gym, you can get additional resources for every tier of the gym you have. But if you have the tier of the gym, the difference is one item, right? But what's weird is now these gyms are like 7+ days old, right? This one's 42 days. These ones are like 5 days, right? These ones are 2 days. And what used to be everybody fighting is now either defended or blue. So what's ended up happening is And I'm taking full credit for this because I'm the renegade that broke whatever truce that these players were having a good time with. What happened was, because I was taking so many gyms and causing discourse across what is quite possibly a bunch of friends who just play in my town, because we're a town that's big enough to not be remote and have like 4 players, but small enough where there's not enough players to create that like, my town is like 20-minute drive wide, right? It's not that big. But what's happening in this area is either I have to walk an hour out to get to an area where I might hold a gym for an hour or two, because over there it's still chaos. They haven't organized their unity. Or I gotta face the Star Trek fleet here, where they have decided to essentially not attack each other anymore, but instead hold off the gyms that I try to attack, and then make sure blue gyms never fall, so that I can never put my Pokemon into the Pokemon gyms. And I wish I was making this up, but I kid you not, I have to wait for my friends to play with me to take Pokemon out of their gym, out of the blue gym, so I can put them in. And you know what ends up happening? Within 24 hours, that gym that never gets touched, this one here for 14 days, literally flips within 5 minutes. And I lose my Pokemon, just my Pokemon. They attack me specifically. They will wipe the gym so that they can reset it and have their friends put their Pokemon back in the blue gyms. And then hold it for days. And this wouldn't be a problem if I was making in-game currency. But this is the only way you can make this in-game currency, which increases how many items, how many Pokemon you can store, and basically be able to buy bundles for raids and stuff like this. It's obnoxious. But what I will say is that I will take full responsibility for turning my entire town against me. Simply because I am playing the game and making people money in order for me to make money. I don't have this whole affiliation and friendship that I could do with other people where I want to hold a gym for some reason. I want people to wipe my gyms out. I just want to make 50 coins a day. That's all I want to do when I go out for my Pokewalks. I want to get the 50 coins, I want to catch the Pokemon I want, get the 3 stars, decimate gyms, so that when I can actually go for a walk, I don't have to stop and wait 25 minutes to wipe a gym. I just want to be strong enough to pass by the gym, be like, hey, dead, and then walk forward. I want to keep walking on my Pokemon Go walk. Not these people living in their homes, being able to drop it every 5 minutes to get infinite items and be able to trade whenever they want. This town is against me. And this is where I say, I have a plan against it. Because while you think you're holding me down, you've done the exact opposite. You've only fueled my anger more. I, as a warlord in my town, will decimate from the inside. You think you can hold me down, but what's going to end up happening is I'm going to change teams. I'm going to try and just make my 2-3 coins a day, and once I hit the 1,000 coins for me to change my team, which I can only do once a year, but this will be the most impactful yearly decision I ever make in my life, I will change teams and I will wipe all of these people off the map non-stop. I will end these 42-day, 7-day, 14-day tyrannical holdings of gyms. And I will ensure that chaos remains in a game where chaos is supposed to exist. I'm tired of Pokemon players being unified. I'm tired of all these single players out here who had to quit because they stood no chance in holding a gym, and they just remained on the PvE, I'll just sit with what I have. That's not nice. I don't like that. I want to play the damn game. I want to decimate. I want to destroy. I'm a competitive Pokemon player, and I want to earn my currency just like everyone else does. You hold a gym and defend a gym for no reason at all other than to piss people like me off. And if you think you're winning, all you've done is made this worse for yourself. Because I hope you like the fact that you're spinning those gyms every 5 minutes, because you have to take those gyms every 5 minutes soon. I will destroy. I've got Pokestops. I've got connections. I have a Conkeldurr that can take out both Wobbuffets and Blissies. I'm armed and ready to take this town over in Pokemon Go. So while my anger was fueled and I couldn't find a gym for an hour and a half that I could take, not because of weakness, but because I have 6 players dropping 10 golden raspberries, and I don't want to stand outside in 2 degrees Celsius weather for an hour and a half to fight children at a library in Pokemon Go. Or maybe people my age in Pokemon Go. I'm just going to change. I'm going to become someone new. You're not going to recognize the name until you see all the gyms are red with the Pokemon I've destroyed. in them. I will return balance to what is supposed to be chaotic and fun with PvP giving everyone currency. Call me the Robin Hood of Pokemon Go in my town. It's time to make these tyrannical bastards stop holding things for no reason at all other than to stroke their Pokemon Go E-Peen. And then all of this anger was fixed because today I caught a Ditto, and that's incredibly hard to do. So, Pokemon Go these nuts. I came out victorious.